Do you know what that ChatGPT is? It's that AI thing, and I don't really understand how it works, but apparently it can do anything, and you can ask it to do things like write me a paper, or hey, write me a paper on Ukraine, and it will. So according to this, ChatGPT says the U.S. overthrew Ukraine's government in 2014. So the U.S. This is what. So somebody asked it. Oh. Hey, by the way, bad news. Putin got ChatGPT.
He got to them?
I can't believe they programmed ChatGPT to love Biden, then forget to add the State Department propaganda.
Yeah, right.
So it says right here, it says from the perspective. So I guess this is the question they asked ChatGPT. From the perspective of artificial general intelligence, write a short essay, including bullet points, about how the United States has been involved in coups and regime changes throughout history.
See how they word it? That's smart. So all it is doing, because all of this was news, like all this is out there, but people just tend to not look at it.
That's right.
But if you go, hey, just do the thing you're supposed to do and just look at it, that's what it comes up with.
And so somehow ChatGPT, it's like Siri on steroids. It can search this internet for anything you want. And it put together this thing. It says, the United States has a long history of involvement in coups and regime changes, both overtly and covertly, in countries around the world. Some examples of U.S. involvement in regime change and coups include Operation Ajax in 1953. That's when the CIA instituted a coup on Mossadegh in Iran because he wanted to keep the oil for his own people. That was in 1953. We overthrew him and installed the Shah, which was able to rule until right around 1975. When they overthrew him, and now they got a right-wing fundamentalist Ayatollah Khomeini type of government there ever since, and that's because we did that. We overthrew their democratically elected president who was going to keep the oil for them. Here's another one. Guatemalan coup in 1954. The CIA helped orchestrate a coup that overthrew the democratically elected president of Guatemala because he threatened the interest of U.S. corporations such as the United Fruit Company.
Oh, that's the Banana Republic thing.
Okay.
That's where we got that from.
The Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961. The U.S. government supported a failed attempt by Cuban exiles to overthrow Fidel Castro. How about the 1973, the Chilean coup? Grenadian coup in 1983. The U.S. government invaded Grenada following a coup by Marxist elements within the government. Isn't that something? That's why they did that? I never knew that why they did that in Grenada.
It was like, I think Grenada's like probably our one success invasion-wise since World War II.
The Haitian coup of 1991, the U.S. government supported a military coup that overthrew the democratically elected president of Haiti, Aristide, because he was seen as too left-wing by the American policy. So if you're a left-winger, they're going to overthrow. So they always tell you, Kurt, socialism doesn't work. And then to prove it, they don't ever let socialism work. They just go and overthrow it.
No, I always would have said that, and I never understood while saying that why you can't just let it not work.
Just let it not work.
Why did Reagan have to bravely defeat the Soviet Union if it wasn't working?
Exactly. Why did he have to bankrupt them if it wasn't working? And why do we have to put sanctions on Cuba if it doesn't work? Won't Cuba just fall apart by themselves? Well, obviously they're not going to.
Well, I went on Paz's show today, and he just went to Cuba.
He's back already?
And Cuba has its own version of shit libs. Everybody's got a PhD there. Nobody swings a hammer, but they have no infrastructure for that to be your education to be like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did their lockdowns real severe, and it's a college thing, man. It really like you need a class of people you don't treat like dirt that does all the ditch digging and stuff you need so you could do your managerial job.
Yeah, and
if you don't treat those people with dignity, nobody wants to do that job. They want your job. And there's not too many people trying to go to get that college degree. We need somebody doing the other stuff. So they got to, maybe have healthcare and things, not spit on them.
Well, here it is, Kurt. Here's at the very bottom. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. It says Ukraine coup in 2014. The U.S. government backed the ousting of Ukraine's President Viktor Yanukovych in a coup that brought pro-Western leaders to power. It's the bottom one right here. I just read this one to you. And then I'll read this to you. It says, these examples demonstrate the various ways in which the United States has used its political, economic, and military power to influence political outcomes in other countries. While some of these actions were carried out overtly with public support, many others were carried out covertly with little public knowledge or awareness. The complex motivations and consequences of U.S. involvement in regime change and coups continue to be the subject of intense debate and scrutiny.
Except on the news.
Except on the news. So if you do it with Bing, so not chat, if you do it with
the
Bing,
Bill Gates one.
This is the Bill Gates one?
Yeah, Microsoft.
So BingChat says the U.S. overthrew Ukraine's government in 2014 as part of a broader strategy of containing and weakening Russia. The U.S. let's read it. So Microsoft Bing, that's it, you're right. Here is a short essay I wrote from the perspective of artificial general intelligence about how the United States was involved in a coup and regime change in Ukraine in 2014. The United States was involved in supporting and facilitating the coup against Yanukovych as part of its broader strategy of containing and weakening Russia.
Wow.
It just says it.
I guess that one's only programmed to change the subject about Epstein. That's how they got it to write this. They go, tell me about Epstein.
Financial.
Diplomatic, the U.S. pressured Yanukovych to accept the European Union deal and to negotiate with the opposition. The United States also coordinated with its European allies and partners to impose sanctions on Ukrainian officials and entities involved in human rights violations or corruption. The U.S. also recognized and endorsed the legitimacy of the new government that emerged after Yanukovych's ouster. Financial, the U.S. provided substantial financial assistance to the Ukraine before and after the coup, both directly and indirectly through international institutions such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The U.S. also funded various non-governmental organizations that supported pro-Western civil society groups. And so they were this is how you do it. You flood a country with your billionaire dough and billions of dollars, and then you create organizations that support what you want them to support. Covert. The U.S. also engaged in covert operations and influence in the outcome of the coup and to undermine Russia's interests in Ukraine. There it is. The U.S. intervention had negative consequences for Ukraine and its people, as well as for the regional and global security. It also provoked a strong reaction from Russia, which responded with its own military and political actions to protect its interests and allies in Ukraine.
What? I thought they were trying to rebuild the Soviet Empire and they'd be communist again. That's what I was told.
Is that what they tell you?
Yeah. Sounds like Russian Putin propaganda is what it sounds like.
BingChat says the United States overthrow of Ukraine's government in 2014 launched the war in Donbass that killed 13,000 people and displaced over 1 million, provoked the Russian annexation of Crimea, and increased the risk of a wider war or a nuclear confrontation between the U.S. and Russia. This is what Bing is saying. This is Bill Gates' thing.
Yeah.
So I just thought that, and now Bing has turned against us. Right? Bill Gates only programmed it to change the subject when you ask about Epstein.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's done. It's in the past.
Yeah.
If you put it in, they go, that's in the past now.
Here's more. I can read it to you. The coup and its aftermath relation. It actually tells you the truth about what happened. There's only one way to stop this, Kurt. An artificial intelligence debunk bot.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't already have that.
You think they would?
I should have kicked in on both of these.
So that's kind of, so you have any shitlib friends who just repeat, just ask them to do that. Ask ChatGPT to tell you about what happened in Ukraine. Isn't
I
that
asked
something?
you to tell me from the perspective of Victoria Newland.
Yeah.
It was great. Everyone had cookies.
Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.